So it's time for devlog number 2 of my story-based hand-drawn game, Drawn Before. And since last time I've made a few little changes while gradually progressing in making some assets for the game as well. So let's go through a couple of the features I've just added in. So Drawn Before isn't really a game that's focused on combat, and you generally won't be killing enemies, but it's mainly focused around platforming and the challenge of platforming while taking in this story which is gradually being delivered to you as you progress through these levels. But enemies and danger points obviously will still make a regular appearance in the game, and they'll be scattered throughout the levels in order to increase the challenge. I am gradually going over to the side that I want to increase the challenge in the game. Originally the idea was a little bit more relaxing, like a very melancholic, plodding kind of platformer, a relaxing platformer really, in order to tell this story, but I'm focusing a little bit more on getting the challenge in and going more down the route of those kinds of precision platformer type of games. And I'm getting interested in the opportunity that offers for level design and those kinds of things. But with all that in mind, I did want something more of a spectacle at the end of level 1, the tutorial level. So I decided to start work on a larger enemy to round off that tutorial section, and I came up with a few different designs, but I ended up on this sort of pig ogre type of enemy boss, and it jumps down at the end of this level, and then rocks fall. As it jumps up and down, rocks fall from the ceiling, and creating multiple aspects of danger as you're trying to traverse your way around this enemy to get to the exit point. And of course this is the first level, it's a tutorial level, very much so. It features a wide variety of different art styles within that level to introduce the player to the type of game that it is, but I also wanted a little bit of mild challenge as well. So there is some challenge in that tutorial level, and in this final boss, once again, it's only going to be consisting of very mild challenge. You just have to avoid the rocks, avoid the enemy as you traverse various platforms in order to make your way round to the exit point. There's still plenty to do on this as well. I need to create the background art as well, it's very plain at the moment. I also need to design the full player route around the level, so the level design needs completely reworking based on what I've got here on this little prototype that I'm showing. I also need to create some sort of music, some ambient enemy style foreboding music as well for this level, but the basis is more or less there at this moment in time, so I'll keep working on that and plucking away in the background. I also decided to implement the pause system into the game and a pause menu as well. So as I mentioned last time, I'm making the game in Game Maker, and I implemented a basic pause system which I wasn't really happy with, and it wasn't really working in the way I wanted it to. It was a little bit finicky. So I looked into different ways of doing pause systems within Game Maker, and I ended up going with a pause entity, which is a parent object to all pausable items in the game, and then everything that is pausable is just a child of this object and can simply inherit the attributes, which basically keeps track of animation frames, movement direction, and then stores them in temporary variables until the pause menu is deactivated. The pause menu itself allows you to also change in-game settings, which at the moment are very basic, with just sort of music and sound effects volumes, as well as rebinding the controls, which the rebinding section is something that I still need to work on. That doesn't do anything at the moment, but that's something which I've set the groundwork for, and it should be relatively simple to implement when it comes time to do that. The final thing I've been working on over this past week are sloping platforms, and these are something that I always knew I wanted to implement at some point, but I've been putting these off. Now, I've been using the legacy version of Game Maker Studio 2, which I picked up many years ago on a Steam sale, but I did decide to finally pay the £89 and upgrade to the full latest release, which has ongoing support and extra features and things like that. There were a number of reasons I wanted to do this, but of course getting on the latest version and getting all that ongoing support and things like that, it was a major reason. But I also wanted to explore the use of filters in this as well, within sort of rooms and those kinds of things, which I'll get into probably at some point in the future. But the other reason was so I could utilize the move and collide function, which wasn't included in the legacy version of Game Maker. And after looking into this move and collide function, it turned out to be relatively easy to add these sloping platforms. So I'm currently working out ways on which they can fit into the tutorial level, level 1, and some of the other parts of the levels which I've already designed. But nothing is set in stone at this moment in time on any of the levels. Everything you see here is very much a work in progress. The level design is not even close to being complete, and at the very least there are aspects that need tweaking in certain areas. So that's really where I am at the moment. That and still creating some background artwork and some more assets which I know I'll need at some point in the game as I make progress in these first few opening levels, still working towards that 20-minute demo which I can finally get on Steam. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please do subscribe if you like this, and I'm going to make these hopefully a regular thing as I make progress on the game. I've got the Discord, there are some links in the description as well. I'm working on the Steam page, hopefully that will be up by next week, and then I can work towards making that demo and add that to the Steam page when that's finished as well. But once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.